tools to succeed.
They will strive.
We will strive.
They will thrive.
We will thrive.
They will rise.
Yes, we will. We're elevating futures. When we're elevating futures. Futures, yeah.
My guest today is Kathy Prather, CEO and Superintendent of Pima JTED, a revolutionary vocational school program coming out of Tucson, Arizona. Kathy's career in education spans 29 years in multiple locations throughout Arizona. In October, Pima JTED opened one of the nation's first medical high schools, the Mel and Enid Zuckerman Center for Health and Medical Centers. Kathy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we are happy to learn about JTED, and I think it's good to just start at the beginning. Tell us the story of Pima and how it came to be.
So Pima Joint Technical Education District, otherwise known as JTED, was formed by our local voters in 2006. We began operation in July of 2007, and we are one of 14 career and technical education districts in the state of Arizona. We deliver exclusively career and technical education. We are a public school district, but all we do is career and technical education. So we are really especially thrilled to be able to offer and bring to our community this Health and Medical Careers Center.
Awesome. So tell me this. There's been kind of a surge in vocational tech schools pretty much since 2007 and even more accelerated, I would say, in the past 5 years. Just as, as a nation, we talk about shifting the focus on how we fund higher education and what options can look like for students post high school. So with all of that said, tell me, how does Pima's approach to vocational education differ from traditional high school models?
So what we do is we have a career and technical education program that can be delivered during the day through some of the more traditional models. But then what we really specialize in is delivering enhanced extended day strategies. So most of our career and technical education programming is after school and evening, which provides our students an opportunity to attend maybe their regular day program and then at their home high school, and then they come to us after school and evening. But what is so groundbreaking about this new program and this new center, the Mel and Enid Zuckerman Center for Health and Medical Careers, is that our students can attend during the day. And so they can get that full high school experience. And that is because we have partnered with the local school district, Tucson Unified School District. So they can deliver the academics and we deliver the career and technical education. And the lines have really blurred. Where it used to be you were maybe on a vocational track or a college-bound college prep track. And now with those blended, we have many of our students are intending to go on to university or college, but they also want to have those technical skills, those technical credentials. And of course, we also deliver high school dual credit from our colleges, our local colleges. And so we're able to provide the dual college credit, that credential, and be able to get our students through high school with a potential for career or to go on to post-secondary.
Well, that's amazing. Students have the opportunity to work their way through college.
Yes, they do. And so that is exactly what most of them end up doing. So they come to us, and this is about 85% of them. They fully intend to go on to university and college, but what they do is they get that credential and then they can work as a licensed nursing assistant right out of high school or a registered medical assistant right out of high school while they work on obtaining other credentials. And often they're working for one of our local, say, hospital systems, for example, and they might even get that college paid for. So if they get hired on as an LNA, then they might get some credit or have part of their classes taken care of financially in working toward an LPN or an RN. So it's a building block. It's a scaffolding, and many of them do work and go to school. But when they have this credential coming out of high school, they can earn a higher wage while they're going to post secondary.
And they can accelerate their progress in college because they have a lot of coursework under their belt already. So, thank you for leading the way and making post secondary education more affordable.
Well, thank you. And we're pretty proud of that. So we are a public school, and everything we do is tuition free, fee free. And we even partner with our community college. And again, as I said, offer dual college credit at no charge. And so our students really do get a step up, a step ahead. They can enter college with the credits. They already have some credentials, and then they have that background knowledge. But it's that passion and that engagement in high school, too, that we're exceptionally proud of. Our students have a higher graduation rate than the general population in getting through high school, but then they also have a higher rate of being able to complete their next credential in post secondary.
And it's notable that you do focus on underserved students and underserved communities, individuals who often have barriers. So, with your extraordinary results and your target population of a focus, kind of walk us through why you decide to target underserved communities and underserved students in the first place.
Well, the why is we believe in opportunities for all students, and where we have our new campus, the Medical and Health Career Center, it is in an area that is the most economically disadvantaged in Tucson. The median income in that area, in that neighborhood, is 41% below the median income of Tucson proper. And so it is an opportunity for our students to have access. And so the reason is we feel all students have a right to be able to access high quality educational experiences like this. So the location of this school is very strategic in where it is placed in the neighborhoods. And what we are seeing within a 7 or 8 mile radius, most of our students are coming from those areas. And then, of course, we're open to all students. And so we do pull from maybe 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes away. Students will commute to be able to attend this school for the opportunities. But where it is closest and has the most accessibility are to those most in need. And that was very purposeful in our planning.
Well, I can tell from your attentiveness and your passion that there is likely a whole child approach undergirding the work that you're doing. So tell us about how you respond to social and emotional needs of your students.
Oh, that is huge. And we are seeing an increase in the needs of our students and all of our local public schools in those areas. And so it is something that we are very intentional about. So we have opportunities for our students and things that we call circles, where they get in small groups with our counselors and talk through things. We have formalized plans for our counselors and our teachers to go through curriculums so that our students feel welcome, that they feel the ability to share out and to speak. And what came about because of the interest in these areas, we heard from students that they wanted possibly to explore a career in the area of behavioral health or social work. And so we actually started a new program last year for social work and behavioral health. And the students are finding, and that program is growing exponentially because they really are diving deep into those topics, and we have a number of students that are very interested in that. So it is something we have materials. We have clings that go on windows and doors that say "You belong here," and it's the color of the rainbow in shades of various colors, but also shades of tan and brown and so forth, and skin color. And we want every student to feel welcome because we do have a very diverse community. And it is really important that we are stressing to our students that you belong here, we welcome you, but we're also here for you. And so we find often that many of our students come to us with things that might be going on in their home or things that might be going on in their life. And we also see sometimes they get a little stressed out because we have a pretty rigorous curriculum, and so we are there for them for those needs as well when they are feeling the stressors of wanting to do well and excel. And so we're there to help them through that as well. We have an amazing counseling staff, and again, also an administrative team that is there for our students.
Well, that's notable. That students are already speaking up. They're already speaking to areas of the curriculum that would help them be more impactful in their eyes, in their community by broadening the choices, right? And the tracks that they can take. So that kind of speaks to, a sense of purpose and a sense of empowerment. So tell me, how do you foster a sense of purpose and a sense of empowerment among your students?
So, just like other career and technical education programs across the country, we have something called our career and technical education student organizations. In the health and medical area, it's called Health Occupation Students of America, or HOSA. And so, as part of that, the students they're able to work on their leadership and experience leadership, but also community service is a requirement of that. So, because of that, all of our programs have a community service component to them, where the students are doing work with others in the community related to their area of focus. What came about, though, as some of that community work was happening a few years ago, is we were approached by the University of Arizona and the public health college to look at starting a community health worker certification program for high school, one of the first in the country, where students could become certified to go out into their community and share educational information, accurate information about health. And so we have a community health worker program for certification, and we're pretty excited about that. And the students actually go out to different parts of Southern Arizona. They present to the public, they'll show up at events saying, did you know, and sharing educational information about health.
Wow. Uh, Tell me this. I mean, so many wonderful um, things have come out of this work, and we know that something this innovative couldn't have come easy. So, tell us about some of the key challenges you faced in bringing Pima to life, and how did you overcome those challenges?
So, probably one of the biggest challenges we face is being able to satisfy the demand for our coursework for students. So, the community say that they really need our young people to get certified and get out there and join in the workforce. But then we also have students who want to be in the programs, and we were held back by a lack of facilities. We didn't have enough space. So we went to the community, and amazingly enough, they stepped up, and we were able to raise 17 million of the 23 million we needed to build this school. So we were able to open this school and not have very much debt, and we're able to pay it off within a few years. And that's what's really exciting. And so the biggest challenge is the facility space, and that was alleviated by our community members stepping up and engaging and being a part of this. And we're talking about a very diverse group of people. We're talking about the Zuckerman family. We had Senator Mark Kelly was able to work through some funds for us through appropriations. Congressman Juan Ciscomani was able to secure funds also through appropriations. The Tucson Rotary Club, the Rotary Club of Tucson, their membership stepped up and became involved. And then there were many, many other donors who stepped up to help us. And so it has been an amazing journey um, to have the community support. So this really is belongs to the community. It really is a part of the community.
Well, tell me this. I'm sure that your passion is infectious because it's, uh, impacting me. I can feel the joy through the screen. But I'm curious about how you've been able to inspire and empower your staff to keep this movement going.
So, of course, staffing career and technical education in a school like ours is a challenge because for example, in our licensed nursing assistant program, that is overseen by the State Board of Nursing. So the regulations state that we have to have an RN teaching, and that RN has to have long-term healthcare experience. So you can imagine how difficult that is at public school district wages, right? That we pay teachers to be able to find RNs. So what we end up with are people that are with us for passion, reasons, and they're not in it for the money. So that helps us because we get those that truly believe in the mission to their core. The other thing that's really helping us out with this challenge of finding faculty is we have former students who are now coming back to us to teach. They were with us maybe 10 years ago. They went through, they gained other credentials, and then now they're coming back to be a part of our faculty. And to me, that speaks to what we help do for them. And now they're back to give back to the future generation. So it's very exciting, that part of it. So I would say that has been our biggest effort that we've had is making sure that all of our students, as they leave us and graduate and complete programs, that they know that they can come back and be a part of our faculty and be a part of our organization.
Well, I would say that that probably would be tops in terms of a success story, right?
Oh,
That the purpose and the power is such that not only do people benefit from it, but they return to continue to contribute to the learning of subsequent generations. So that is extremely laudable.
it is quite exciting, and we as we go on in time, we start to see more and more of these faculty who are former students, and as our numbers grow, we really do need them to come back because as we grow, we need more faculty. So it's been phenomenal, and it truly is engaging to hear. And then when I'm out and about and with the public and various meetings and things, I hear more and more about. I'll meet somebody and they will have had a niece or a nephew or a son or a daughter, someone they knew that went through the program. And what we continually hear is how we change lives and the experience that many of the young people have with us, it helped them find direction. It helped them find purpose and guidance. And so when we share those stories out with the public and with our faculty, it helps reinforce why we are all here. So it really does speak to the purpose. And when you talk about a purpose driven life, that's a part of that life is your professional career. And that's why I feel we've had so much success because so many of our faculty and staff, they breathe this. This is their contribution to the future and they really embrace it.
Building and maintaining a movement is reckoning with scaling. So tell me about your satellite work and the notable features and the challenges.
So we have we have satellite programs throughout our 14 member districts. Our service area is 12,000 square miles. And so we have to ensure that those programs are of high quality. And then at the same time, we have our central campus programs like our new health and medical career school. And we want to make sure that that meets the high quality. We're looking at the use of technology to be able to take some of these programs out to our more rural communities where it would be difficult to have a program. So we're looking at how to develop a mobile lab, for example, for licensed nursing assistant. and utilize technology, virtual instruction, hybrid instruction, and combine that with hands-on lab that might be located in a mobile lab that travels from rural area to rural area. So that's one of the challenges we face, is being able to ensure that each and every one of the young people in our delivery area have an opportunity.
Well, it sounds like you've got a good handle on it. Those mobile, um, the mobile method really is helpful in terms of access in rural communities and even urban communities where transportation is a factor. And it helps reconcile the hybrid model so that there is some face to face interaction, but it doesn't have to cause a hardship for the students.
That's absolutely correct, and again, also one of the reasons that we, built this most recent campus where we did is that it's near, the intersection of 2 major freeways. One that runs north-south, which goes all the way to the border of Mexico, and one that is east-west through the metro Tucson area, and so it really does help those even 15, 20 miles away to get to our campus quickly.
Well, tell us about the Zuckerman Center for Health and
Oh,
Medical
yes.
Careers. You know, so tell us, what was the driving force behind taking this route?
So the driving force was the need to increase the ability to educate students. We now have 1,000 students a week attending this campus. The driving force was we wanted a modern campus. We wanted modern facilities. We wanted state of the art facilities that would go along with the high quality of education that we deliver. And so we have rooms that resemble a hospital ward. We have a simulation lab sponsored by one of our local hospitals, Tucson Medical Center. And in the simulation lab, we have a mid fidelity mannequin that is able to mimic a number of things that a patient would show. So, symptoms, and the nurses who program it can have it speak, have it complain of a bellyache or issues and things like that. So, it's state of the art equipment. And so the driving force was the community said, we need this. The president of the University of Arizona at the time, a few years ago, Dr. Robert Robbins, he was a surgeon, and he said that they had medical high schools in other parts of the country, and we should do this here. And so we wanted to create something that the community wanted, and that was something that would prepare students to go on to the University of Arizona College of Medicine, but then also a high school program that would prepare our students to be able to go into careers as a licensed nursing assistant or medical assistant or physical therapy tech, and many other areas as well. And but it was the driving force was the community and potential students saying we want this, the community saying we need this, and everyone saying we deserve this. And then the people with the funding stepped up in the community and made it happen. But it's through those community connections of the University of Arizona, the Zuckerman family about 30 years ago founded the Mel and Enid Zuckerman College of Public Health at the University of Arizona. And so this named school, high school, is really for that family the next step in reaching to the high school population. And now we're looking at doing even more in our middle school area. How can we engage our middle schoolers in thinking about the exciting careers that await them in their future, and getting them to experience exploring the various career areas? So we this was driven by the community, and it's a reflection of what the community wanted.
So, speaking of community, walk me through how um, you bring all of your community stakeholders together. I mean, the business community, hospitals are looking for students who are ready to jump into those professions. However, there has to be conversation about what those needs are, and then also you need resources. So, kind of, how do you navigate all of these different stakeholders and players in a continuous chain of communication along to continuously build and refine and shape and plan and move forward? What does that look like?
So we have advisory committees, and those are really the drivers of the various individual program areas that we have. So we have an advisory committee for each programmatic area, and then those committees meet. And then also, as superintendent and CEO, I have an advisory committee, which are a number of local CEOs, leads of organizations in the community, and they help guide where we go as well. And then, of course, we're a public school district, so we have a governing board. We have a 5-member board elected representing 5 of our areas, divided up into 5 sections. And they are very involved as well. And so the other piece that I have done is becoming involved with the Chamber of Commerce. We have the Tucson Metro Chamber of Commerce. We have a group that are involved in economic development, and that is called Sun Corridor. And I'm one of the board of directors of that organization as well. And so it's staying in tune with the community and where we are going as a community and making sure that we're at the table for that education. And that's something that's fairly new to Tucson, having public education at the table. When you have the leads of the community together, it used to be business on one side and education on the other, and now we're all together at the table. And that I think is huge, and I think that's one of the driving forces as well.
That's amazing to hear that, as a community, the consensus is that education and business need to work together. So that's great to hear. You talked about a lot of advisory board meetings, a lot of work with the students, visioning, building, developing. How do you maintain work-life balance?
Oh, my goodness. Um, it's all about perspective. So I am blessed that I have a granddaughter, and she lives nearby, and I'm able to spend time with her, and it energizes me because I am building for her future as well, right? For all the little people in our community, the little ones in preschool. I mean, we're building programs that they will hopefully and be able to enjoy and enter. So I'd say it's spending time with my granddaughter and family, being that work-life balance. It's busy, but the saying goes, if you are enjoying what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. And so it's just making sure that I take care of myself and I spend time with family and especially my granddaughter, who just gives me that boost of energy. Yesterday, I was chasing her around a playground. She's 2.5 and can run very fast.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Well, it's good that you have an outlet. And I'm assuming that the timing is deliberate. Sometimes as CEOs, we'll fit it in when we fit it in. And that's not always best. So I'm assuming that there are intentional plans and intentional scheduling to make sure that family doesn't become neglected or an afterthought.
Yes. Yes. That's right. You have to plan. That's a big part of it is you have to plan to take care of yourself. You have to plan to for your staff to feel that energy and to appreciate each other, right? And that takes planning, saying we will have a recognition event, we will have these social events to gather as a faculty and break bread and share and maybe talk about something else besides our students. But, our teachers are so passionate, they always end up talking about the students also and planning new projects, new programs. We just can't help it, but it does take planning.
So you talked about kind of, social events at the staff level and how sometimes as educators, we spend our time talking about our students because they're so excited about the growth that we've seen. So let's take a little moment to talk about your most rewarding moments as CEO and superintendent of Pima JTED.
One moment that comes to mind was 2021, and it was our completion ceremony. And we had a crowd gathered of about 7,000 people, family members, friends, there to celebrate. At that time, I believe we had 700 program completers. And so these young people were there to celebrate their accomplishments, celebrate their graduation, their program completion in front of their friends and family. And one of the young people that was chosen to speak, a young lady, she shared that she didn't think she was going to make it through the program because it was during the pandemic and we were remote at that time, at that year during the pandemic. She was discouraged. She wasn't sure she could do it. It was very difficult for her to be able to learn the curriculum just via virtual. And then she had some teachers and counselors meet with her, and she was able to determine a path forward. And she made it through. She made it through successfully. And so at the end of her program time, she was selected as one of 3 student speakers at the ceremony, and, it was so emotional because it was about her and her story and her journey, but so many of us could relate to that. And the crowd, 7,000 people, most of which had tears just streaming down. We had made it. We had done this. We did this together. We completed, and we made it through. So that I think is one of, the top highlights that I have, recently. Another was, as you mentioned at the beginning, October 4th, we had the ribbon cutting for our new Enid Zuckerman Center for Health and Medical Careers, and, the celebration of this new school that the community put together, the community, made happen. And, we had the governor, we had, Congressman Siscomani. We had the Arizona Corporation Commissioners, specifically Leah Marquez Peterson. We had Mr. Jim Click, a local celebrity who has a number of car dealerships. He was there. We had parents, we had students, we had teachers, we had hundreds and hundreds of people came out to celebrate this event. And to hear from our students who spoke at the event, what this meant to them, to hear from our faculty, to hear from representatives of the University of Arizona about the partnership in making this happen. It all came together, and it was one of those moments where, wow, we did this and we did this together. So I guess there's a theme to what I'm saying is that things keep happening and it's the community making this happen. And it's a privilege and an honor to lead an organization doing this work, but it's really the team that we have in our school district, but then the community also standing behind our team.
Absolutely. So tell us what lessons you've learned about effective leadership and change management since you've been doing this work. Lessons that you would share with other leaders trying to do the same kind of work.
I think that you have to remember that you need to be as proactive as possible, thinking through the various possible scenarios. What could go wrong? Because things will not go as you plan. But then once you have that plan, you have to know that that can just totally go out the window sometimes, and you have to be able to reassess and determine maybe a different path forward. The other piece is listening. I think if I had to say, what do I spend most of my day doing? And I'm in meetings, I'm out in the community quite a bit, and it's really listening, listening to the needs of the community, listening to the needs of our students and families, and then listening to the challenges in our community. We are dealing, as many communities are, we have issues with some homelessness. We have issues with housing affordability. We have issues with water, making sure we have enough water, and all of these things our students and our programs can be a part of finding the solution. So we are looking at launching some new sustainability programs that have that focus in sustainability, such as in our construction technology program, we have a plan to put in new sustainability uh, codes that we know are coming in the building codes and things like that. So we have to be able to change and look at what we're doing. We started out with an AI program last year that we wanted to embed artificial intelligence concepts into every single one of our programs, and it is definitely not easy, and it takes time. But again, it gets back to listening and being able to determine what is the readiness level of your faculty and staff in incorporating some of these things. And what we found is that some people are much more ready than others, but we don't want to go too fast, but we have to go fast enough to ensure that our students have the skills and knowledge so that by the time they get into high school, they understand how AI is appropriate in certain places and times and how to use it to their benefit in their career. So for all of us, it really is a journey. But when it gets down to change, I think you have to be fearless. And what we have done in the public school space with Pima JTED is we have really gone outside the box, outside the norm. We partner with one of our member districts to run a school, and there are two schools sharing a building in this on the same campus, and the students are moving from class to class, from English to licensed nursing assistant, and they don't know they're going from one school to another school or from one teacher employed by one district to another teacher employed by another. We're there together and it's seamless. So I think you have to be fearless in thinking outside the box, but then you have to have that compass of what is most important. And the direction of that is what is best for our students. And if that means we have to change it up, that's what we do. And so some people sometimes are not comfortable with that. Um, some would rather see education continue like it always has. It's a tradition. We always do it this way or that way. But we tend to break out of that mold at Pima JTED. And what we have seen is that our students are embracing it. They want more of it. Community wants more of it. So we will continue to do it.
My last question is this. What advice would you give to a young person today who is considering a career in education or vocational training?
I would say absolutely do it. If you want a career where you truly are seeing that you can change lives and help people. And so it's that intrinsic need to help others and change the life of many young people, and therefore changing the community and making the community a better place. So I would say that advice is yes, do that. If that is what you want, if you want those rewards, I'd say do it. For a young person considering a vocational option, I would say absolutely, because what we are seeing is a vocational plan, a vocational program in school versus an academic college prep program. You can you can get everything you want going either way. Because what we are seeing is we're all now lifelong learners. We have to be with technology. And so if you go on a vocational track and you want to get a technical skill, do it. That's not going to prevent you from going on to post-secondary education or furthering further degrees. It may actually likely give you a leg up, a step up toward that end. And so those two thoughts, they're no longer really separate. It's all about what you have a passion for and what you want to do with your life and finding that match between your passion and what you want to do and where the needs are in the community. And if you are focusing on that, you can't go wrong.
Kathy, thank you so much for such a holistic conversation about education and workforce development and leading people and building up a community groundswell of support and fundraising. Thank you for being the type of leader that can keep a lens on all of these things at the same time. Because I'm sure in this work, you've met a lot of people who only look at it through one lens, but being able to look at this issue through several lenses is laudable. So thank you for your contributions to the students and the families and the community of Tucson. And thank you so much for taking the time to share with us all the things that you are doing so well.
Well, thank you, Dr. Perryman. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. So thank you so much.